What is up, worldwide family? Welcome back to the channel, Jimmy Flippin' Deals. Thank you so much for joining me. It is getting warm in this neck of the woods. We're like 75 degrees. So awesome there. That'll be shorts weather before too long. But no, welcome back to the channel. I, in all honesty, have had a very, very frustrating day, and I'll tell you why. Whoops, let me put my seatbelt on. That's probably a good way to start this thing off. No, Shopify, again, has my payments on hold. Again, this is the second time in like 7 months. Did a video last time. The last time they did this, the work that they required me to do to prove that my products were authentic and that I'd acquired them ethically and everything that has to do with reselling. Not that I had ever been accused of selling fakes. All my stuff has always been authenticated. All my stuff is new, and I have never had any allegations. Otherwise, they saw it fit. Matter of fact, the way they phrased it last time was that their Shopify payment partners were nervous with my website. Also known as, when it broke down, that a few brands that pay them a whole lot more than I pay them did not like me selling their products for a lot less than what they sell them for. Because when originally they said, if you will supply us the documents showing where and how you bought it, which has been shown in Amazon to a great extent, to be illegal, to be an invasion of privacy. I went ahead and went with it. They said, if you show us this, we won't show anybody, right? It'll be between you, Jamestown Trading Company, and Shopify, period. That's what they said until the moment that I gave them the documents. And then they said, okay, we will share it with our third party company that runs the Shopify payments. Never in any of it did they say. They said to the contrary, we won't show anybody. We'll review it. We'll relay our findings to these people until the moment I gave it to them. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, we'll let these other brands know where you're buying their stuff then, which is totally unethical, for one. Shopify, bad, all right? But two, it's just not cool, man. Total invasion of privacy. And normally, in order for any company to get that kind of documentation, you've got to at least, and not that you should get that kind of documentation, period, to anybody, but the fact that they're running my whole website and have the ability to just shut me down puts me in a difficult position. Either I sue them to get an injunction for that, which is, ridiculous, or I put up with their illegal activities. Fast forward, after a week of them holding my payments last time, they said, well, we appreciate your cooperation. We're going to go ahead and reinstitute your Shopify payments. We're sorry for any inconvenience. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, fine. It's done. It's over with. You've held my money long enough, and then they started sending me my money again. Matter of fact, I was so upset, I went to a third-party payment. I went to PayPal, where I accepted PayPal exclusively, and forget your Shopify financial whatever backers. When it turned out, apparently it's Mattel and Adidas, Mattel, the people that make Barbie, because they wanted receipts, right? And I gave them like 1,000 receipts, literally 1,000. And they're like, well, we just need a sampling of your receipts. I said, well, I gave you 1,000 different product receipts. What more can you want? They said, well, more specifically, Mattel and Adidas. That definitely shows me where they're in line with. And I bet, I don't know it for a fact, but common sense tells me that they're in cahoots with Adidas and Mattel. But fortunately, I run a legitimate business and was able to supply that stuff to them. Fast forward 7 months, right? I had somewhere in between then and now allowed Shopify payments when I turned my Facebook shop on, right? Which has been a waste of time, even though it's basically automated. Just like a lot of things, Shopify included, if you don't advertise, you don't get anywhere with them really. Matter of fact, over the last year, as far as what Shopify actually charges me, I've only brought in profits through their exclusive channel to equal about half of what I pay them. If that were the only thing that I was expecting sales from Shopify, if that's why I use Shopify, if that's why I had a website through Shopify, was to actually make money, it would be a waste of time. Absolute waste of time, guys. So if you're considering Shopify and you're not planning on doing a whole bunch of Google ads or something like that, and you think that's what's going to do it for you, that's what's going to pay the bills and keep the lights on and everything, then you're absolutely wrong. You're wrong wasting your time with Shopify. You're wrong wasting your time with GoDaddy. What those websites, those domains, having a domain actually does for those that are on the fence, and I definitely would not recommend Shopify payments, and I'll tell you about the second one here in just a second. But the reason I use a domain is it adds a level of legitimacy in the eyes of retailers, in the eyes of distributors, for that. Also, for the fact that it is the first place, the first way I learned how to keep inventory. And it's not from their inventory system, because they really don't have one. It's the way I use what they do have in order to have it. Matter of fact, if Shopify, if you're listening, why don't you put a location field into the listings? That way we can actually find things without coding it ourselves into the listing. Absolutely lazy is about the best way I can say it. And that describes so much of Shopify's layout. But anyway, let me move on. This time, right, I had a customer contact me, and he has over the last few weeks looking for a particular shoe. Matter of fact, I think I mentioned him in the last video. He's an older gentleman, bless his heart, and he wanted to call and he wanted to talk to me. He didn't even really want to do email because technology is not his friend, right? I mean, he's not quite up to snuff on it. He wanted to call like you do, 10, 20 years ago and talk to somebody and place an order. He wanted one specific thing. I am 99% sure there's no scam behind it, because I've offered him discounts to try to persuade him to products that I had in stock at the time. He didn't bite there. He wasn't trying to spend money. He was trying that he didn't have. He was trying to buy a product. Long story short, after 2 years of being with Shopify, he had asked me, I've been with Shopify right at 2 years now. He had asked if he could do a credit card payment over the phone. And I wasn't sure, actually. So I looked through Shopify's payment terms and conditions and yada, 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 and they allow for that, right? They absolutely allow for it. First time I've ever done it. If I was talking to my mom today, if he were to be fraudulent, right, I would be out a total of $89.98, I believe, right under $90. But I'm guessing, because instantly my payments are on hold again. I call to talk to customer service. This is what receipts do y'all need this time? Because in the banner it says that I need to supply documentation. He said, actually, that is a by text chat, right? That is just a pre-formatted thing. We don't need anything from you. We're locking your payments down. We're keeping your money for a couple days. That's what they said last time. Ended up being over a week, right at a week. We're gonna take your money. We're gonna hold your money against your will, hold it hostage, while we decide if your account is secure and acting with integrity. Now, I've been there 2 years, right? I've never had a chargeback, never, not once. You know, and I could understand, ladies and gentlemen, if, you know, I had a $5,000 or $10,000 charge on there, or a $2,000 charge, or $1,000, or $500, maybe $250. I mean, you know, I guess that makes sense. Maybe even $100. You know, lock my account down, my whole account, not just the one charge, but the whole account, for less than $100. How petty can you be? Shopify. Give me just a second. Let me drop off some packages. All right, but yeah, seriously, how petty can you be? Like, I'm not good enough with them after 2 years, even if the charge did go bad. And let's be honest, not all charges go through. Some things get charged back, although I've never had a charge back in a year, or 2 years with them. But I mean, even if it did, it's like less than $100. I'm glad that I don't trust them with real money. Maybe they were so surprised to see someone actually sell something on their website without advertising that they were like, whoa, wait a minute, this can't be right. But nevertheless, I did not mean this to be a rant, but that's all it's been. If you made it this far, thank you so very much. As far as sales, man, they have been phenomenal. Matter of fact, I'm on my way to, that was the post office, I'm on my way to UPS. I thought that all of them would roll, this late shift of them would run UPS, but that one actually, the post office was quicker on their priority than UPS was. From Dallas to Houston, like 3.5 hours away. UPS was saying 4 days, which I think was a computer glitch, but nevertheless, yeah, we're getting them gone, man. Those Mizunos that I told you about, the volleyball shoes, I'll go ahead and put them here, man. Used is rocking it, man. I know I like retail, I like new, just personally. Like, I don't, in my head, I just like new stuff better than used. But hands down, the Mizuno's volleyball shoes, size 13, right here. If I didn't say that already, we're gonna put them here. Sold comp and all. Have been in inventory like a week, bro. And bought them for 20, sold them for, what was it, 40, 45 plus shipping. Ended up, after everything was said and done, $24 profit on 20 in less than a week, for no extra footwork, no extra nothing. It was right on my way to my side hustle. So yeah, beautiful. Another one gone, man. Already got several watchers on some others that I put up here lately. I don't like necessarily how labor intensive the used stuff is, but I may be able to shortcut that as time goes on. I know people do, you know, places they can buy in bulk, like flea markets. I tried one up here, not so great. I did see, I may have mentioned this, I still haven't been there, but a bin store, a Goodwill bins, Goodwill outlet store down the road, man. And I've heard rumors that it's not in business. I've heard people say, no, it's still going. So I'm not sure, but I do need to check that out, because if it's not as labor intensive as spending, you know, an hour on the phone, not saying that, you know, sometimes you find a lot of stuff, but, you know, spending an hour on the phone to possibly come up with $20 or $50 worth of stuff, that you know, profit that you could have, is just not a target-rich environment enough for me. Now, when you're decompressing and stuff like that is when I do that, when I'm not doing anything else, when I don't want to do anything else, but veg, then I do veg, looking at new stuff to buy and make money, and I've actually done really well with what I have found, and I want to do some more of it. Let's see what else. No, yesterday was phenomenal in sales on the Jamestown side. The side hustle was good and kicking. I landed a full day's pay right where I wanted to be on that. So when it all equaled out, I kid you not, I made about 3 days worth of my base bills yesterday. So I was just not thankful is the word. And the $89 on Shopify doesn't frustrate me. It's the idea of, if I were doing as much business on Shopify as I do on any of the other marketplaces that I do business on, the power that they would have over that. So I have gotten rid of Shopify payments yet again. They say you can't run, they won't sync their store unless you're on Shopify payments with Facebook marketplace shops. They're trying to twist your arm into using their payments, and I don't know if they hold the money because they're genuinely concerned, and I really don't think so because of how such little dollars it is. They mention that they do this to everybody routinely, and I said, you harass everybody routinely? And they said, well, no, it's not harassment. I said, well, it sure feels like it, as an employee. And I didn't ask, but as an employee, what if I came up to you on Friday, on payday, and said, hey, your funds are being put on hold while we review your employment status? How would that make you feel? Would you even show up to work on Monday? I can't imagine. And that we routinely do this to everybody. It's like, well, then what, if they didn't have one of, if not, in all fairness, one of the better places to lay out a website, not saying it's effective, but why would I even be there in the first place? And every time I mention that to them, they say, well, you got to funnel people here. I said, I already have people in different ponds. Why would I want to say, hey, let me take this fish from this pond and have them come over here to bite this? Why do I want to risk losing a customer on the leap from one place to another? Hey, I know you found me on eBay or Amazon, but why don't you join me on why don't you buy the stuff from Jamestown Trading on Shopify? That makes no sense, or meet somebody that I sell to in town and say, well, hey, rather than me taking your cash or taking, your Venmo or Cash App or whatever, why don't you go through my website? It doesn't make any sense. I do believe ultimately my goal is a standalone website like everybody that's bigger than me has, right? Where people go, oh, let's check out Jamestown. Whether or not I ever get that brand recognition, who knows? I know I won't get it if I don't try to get it. So that's where I'm at with it. But the hassle that Shopify is presenting to this small reseller is absolutely absurd. And it's not just resellers, it's merchants. And I need to drop the reseller term. That's one I picked up when I got into this business. Every merchant's a reseller. Every merchant is a reseller. So the trouble that Shopify is presenting to its merchants is ridiculous. Short of that, guys, I think I have sufficiently talked your ear off. I hope next time is a much brighter note. So if you have any questions, comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments section, and I will try to answer them and respond to them in the best way possible. So y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you tomorrow, all right? Bye.